Redearth Education Charity Art Fundraiser. The Colours of Africa, a unique exhibition of art from Uganda. Redearth Education's charity fundraiser was at Stationers' Hall in London, raising vital funds to improve education in rural Uganda. To raise these funds, Redearth Education Uganda, in partnership with Mott MacDonald, organised an exhibition to sell these fantastic paintings that are created by young children across rural Uganda. Colours of Africa 2024 is an exhibition of self-expression, vision and hope, giving a rare glimpse of the beautiful country of Uganda through the eyes of its children. While thousands of children across Uganda fill classrooms each day to learn about the world around them and dreaming of becoming accountants, lawyers, artists, nurses, engineers and teachers, only 20% will finish primary school. The money raised from the sale of the children's work will be invested in a number of village schools across rural Uganda and their teachers. With this investment, Redearth Education Uganda will continue to ensure children attending schools also gain an improved quality of education in a variety of different subjects through an investment in teacher training and educational resources. Receive education programs focused on positive pupil outcome, sustainability, collaboration and local governance. Develop to their full potential and become an active participant of tomorrow's fairer, greener, more equitable world. ACD, a Ugandan cultural group based in London, entertained the guests before Lynn and Ronnie, the founders of Redearth Education Uganda, gave their speeches.
And welcome to this event. It's really great to see so many people here. So thank you so much for coming and supporting Redearth. We'd first of all like to say a huge thank you to these volunteers who actually put this together for us. It's amazing. So Millie, Jenny, and all the rest of the team, thank you so much. It's been really great. So well done. We'd just like very briefly, and I promise you it will be brief, because we are used to Ugandans doing speeches, and they tend to be very long. And the Ugandans here will recognize that. So our speech will be very brief. First of all, I'd just like to say that we actually, in fact, I didn't introduce us today. So I'm Lynn, and this is Ronnie, and we actually founded Redearth Education. And
what?
We are a couple. I thought he was going to say that, but obviously he's forgotten. And in fact, he forgot our wedding anniversary the other day, so... Anyway, that's life.
We're married to each other, but also to Redearth Education.
Yeah,
that's the third one in the team.
That's very true, yeah. We thought we would just talk very briefly about the organisation and how we got to this stage that we're at now. And we went to Uganda first in 2003. We were volunteering for another organisation, and we decided to go back. And in 2006, we registered as a charity in the UK. And basically, when we went to Uganda, a lot of people asked us about the name Redearth and why Redearth. And the reason why we called it Redearth was the first time we went to Uganda it had been raining. We came from the airport and we then travelled to Masindi, which in those days, it was a very long journey. The road was very bad. And it was made of murram. And that is it. If you don't know, it's a type of soil, which the roads were made of in those days, and there's still some. But they were very red because of the rain. And it really was an amazing impression. And not only that, as we travelled to the Sindhi, we saw millions of children. Children were everywhere. They were coming out of fields. They were walking to school. They were just about everywhere. And the impression we got was from this red earth, these children were growing. And because of that, we thought maybe we can call our organisation Redearth, and the children of Uganda, hopefully, as a result of what we might or might not be able to do, they would also grow and develop. And so that was the reason that we called it Redearth Education. We decided to focus on professional development of teachers because we were both in education for most of our lives. I was a head teacher in London, and Ronnie was an advisory teacher of the deaf. So we had quite a lot of experience. And we also had another founder member called Di Cosgrove, who also was a head teacher. She couldn't be with us this evening, which is a shame. But we decided to do this because we wanted to get children into school, to get them to stay in school, or to help teachers to get them to stay in school, and to achieve improved educational outcomes. And, you know, in classes of 200, in rural classrooms, in rural schools, that is a huge, huge challenge with virtually no resources. But these teachers turn up and they teach under these huge challenges. So we thought that we would try to work on that. So over time, we developed what we did. We went back and trained teachers, built some great relationships. Ugandans probably are one of the friendliest people in the world, and very, very welcoming. And then we knew that we wanted to actually develop a local organisation because we can't go on forever. We wanted to make it something that was Ugandan. But it takes time. It takes time. And in 2009, Redearth Uganda, we helped establish. And we've been supporting them to develop and to grow the organisation ever since. We retired in 2012 from our jobs. And we went straight to Uganda and lived there for 10 years, actually working there and supporting and developing the local organisation. And we were basically doing capacity building, developing programs to improve the quality of teaching and learning. And we managed to get funding to construct a training centre and a model nursery school. And you know, in the audience now, I can see several people who have been and have engaged with all that, and it's so great to see these people here this evening. I think that for us, working in Uganda has been the most amazing experience, and we have felt so privileged to be able to do that. You know, when we retired, we just wanted to do something, and this is what we wanted to do. And it's a real privilege to work in a completely different culture, in a different country that you haven't experienced or not fully experienced, to live with the local community and to work with teachers, children, the local staff, now college tutors. Just an amazing experience, and we have learned so much. You know, we have learned so much, you can't believe. And basically it's changed our lives. We had to, well, we didn't have to, but we decided that we needed to leave Uganda and return to the UK because we wanted to make sure that the local organisation could continue to develop with our support, but without us there. And we actually came back in COVID time, but we still go back. We are still very much engaged with the local organisation. Again, providing online support and training. And also, we're working with these colleges, so that's a lot of online stuff as well. So we're lucky because we haven't completely separated yet, and that's going to be very hard because leaving Uganda for us was really hard. It was really hard, as you can imagine. You know, long time there, great friendships, and it's just been such a great experience. And Uganda is such a lovely country, beautiful and lovely people, lots of challenges, but a great place to be. So on our return to the UK, as I said, we're trying to make sure that the local organisation is self-sustaining, and that will take some time. But that's okay. We're okay with that. And our boards, actually, we have a board, Redearth Education UK and a Redearth Education Uganda, and those boards work very closely together. So we're still very much linked in that way. So Ronnie.
Yeah. Yes, thanks again for coming.
Well, go on. We haven't finished.
Thanks again for coming. We focus on the teaching of good pedagogy, early grade reading, early grade mathematics. We have a model nursery that we've established, which is used as a training facility for nursery school teachers. We have focused on school leadership, and now, like Lynn said, we're also focusing in colleges where we're training tutors in the ways of training students to become good teachers. It all sounds very ambitious, but it's been kind of logical, the way things have developed, especially as when we came to Uganda in 2003, we subsequently discovered we didn't know anything. We arrived with all sorts of ideas and notions about how to improve things, and it was all complete pie in the sky. It's a different place, it's a different culture, it's different traditions. And we had to live there in order to learn how much we didn't know. Mm. The programs have proved to be successful. On the whole, they've got the results we wanted. The government, Ministry of Education has liked what we do, they've endorsed what we do. They've invited us to do other work. The trainers that we have are skilled, we've trained them all well. They now have their own in-house training mechanism so that new people are recruited, they're trained, and then they get ongoing training through their career with Redearth so that they keep up to date with all developments. It has a slight downside is that other NGOs that we train, some of them try to sneak our staff away from us because they want them for themselves. But no, on the whole, we have a good, loyal team, and it's not, I have to stop saying we. It's not our team anymore. It's their team. It's their team. We're now
you can see how hard it is.
Yes,
it's their team.
We're now the parents of the original organization. Been banished, right? Now, we welcome contributions, especially this event. It's just an astonishing stroke of luck that we had this group of girls that came from a school in England, and among them was Millie. This is 2019, and we've had many volunteers, and many have returned, many have stayed to work with us, many have maintained contact with us for a long time. And every now and again, we get this little spark of magic that somebody wants to continue supporting us. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Uganda has made school places available to the majority of Ugandan children, be they rural or urban. There's a proliferation of private schools, but there's enough infrastructure for the majority of children in Uganda to now go to school. And the government of Uganda is now working hard to improve the systems, improve the curriculum development, improve the training of teachers, in order to create good outcomes for these children who are there. This is where we come in. We've been endorsed by the government, by the ministry, to do this work. and also by the local education authority within Masindi, where we're based. We're on good terms with everyone. It's been a dream activity. Ever since we retired, it's been like a dream come true, although we didn't have the dream. It was like unbelievable results that just followed one after the other as we panted through the years. There are challenges. Uganda has the largest population of children under 16 in the world, proportionate to their population. It is a tremendous burden for an educational system to educate that number of children under 16. There's no other country that has so many children under the age of 16. However, on the other hand, the majority of them are living in what we would call poverty. Rural districts, peasant farmers, social structures are village-based. There's very little infrastructure. Electricity in many of these places and running water are unknown.
It's changing.
It's changing, but it's not fast enough. But it is changing. It is changing, and we support all the efforts to do that. Most of the children, let's say out of 100 children, only 20 will complete primary school. Out of that 20, maybe 20% will go to secondary school. Out of that 20, maybe 20% will complete secondary school. It is a very big mountain to climb, and we're doing our best to contribute what we can, and so these events like this one, it helps us to continue. Thank you for coming. We are very grateful for any support you can give. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stationers' Hall. I am Alderman Vincent Keaveney. I sort of wear three hats here tonight. First of all, I'm a member of the Stationers Livery Company, and I don't believe there's been an official welcome to you from the Stationers Livery Company. So as a liveryman of this ancient and proud company, I'm delighted to welcome you all here to Stationers this evening. I served as Lord Mayor of the City of London in 2022. I was the 693rd Lord Mayor of London. That's the second hat. And the third hat I'm wearing is I'm Alderman for the ward in which we are standing here tonight, the ward of Farringdon Within, the greatest ward in the City of London. But we always say that about our own wards. So it's wonderful not only to welcome you to Stationers, but to welcome you to the City of London as the past Lord Mayor, and to the ward of Farringdon Within as your Alderman here tonight. And why am I here wearing this gown this evening? Well, tonight is coming to the end of City Giving Day, the 11th edition. It was started by Dame Fiona Woolf, Lord Mayor, 11 years ago. A day to celebrate philanthropy, volunteering, pro bono activity across the city. Over 600 organisations in the City of London today have been involved in some sort of activity, whether that's raising money for the Lord Mayor's Appeal, whether that's promoting the charities that their own organisations support. And tonight, Mott MacDonald, of course Millie and her colleagues from Mott MacDonald are here tonight, focused on Redearth, the education, the wonderful work we've been hearing about over the last few minutes in Uganda, and what wonderful examples of art we have around us this evening. Another great example of city organisations, city institutions engaging with charity and philanthropy, the untold part of the city story, which was one of the reasons that we started City Giving Day 11 years ago, to tell those stories, to celebrate the links that city organisations have with fantastic charities like Redearth. So I hope you all enjoy this evening. It's wonderful this is my 5th event over the course of the day. I've been crisscrossing the city. It's certainly the most colourful and interesting of all the events I've visited. I also say I'm rather glad it doesn't involve eating any more cakes. But I hope you enjoy this evening. I hope that you spend generously on the art that's here on display. Well done to all of the Mott MacDonald colleagues that are here tonight for their support of Redearth. And I hope the evening is a tremendous success and a very happy City Giving Day to you all. Thank you very much.
Everything looks like it turned up as you planned. Did you expect this?
Oh, everything's turned out so wonderfully, but we did not expect this at all. We were quite nervous, about the ticket sales and if anyone would actually come, because obviously Mott MacDonald's a very corporate company and Redearth Education is not. And so we just wondered how the two would mesh together, but,
so
worked.
Because Redearth Education, how did it come to partner with, did you say MacDonald?
Yeah, Mott MacDonald. So that's the company that we work for. So Millie actually went to Uganda a few years ago now while she was still at school, I think. And she worked with Lynn and Ronnie and Redearth Education.
Yeah.
And then she's come to Mott MacDonald and now Redearth Education are an official partner with Mott MacDonald. So this opens opportunities up for lots of events like this or other things. Yeah, it's quite exciting.
So what does Mott MacDonald do? What is?
Oh goodness, they do lots of things. So they're a global company. They are all over the world. They do engineering, they do construction, they work with railways, they work with water. And then they have also got this social side, which is where Millie and I work, which is we work on the Adoption and Special Guardianship Support Fund. We work with the children to get therapy. And there's lots of other projects that we work on there was one just with midwives. So it's a huge company with lots and lots of different arms to it. And they're quite keen for their employees to branch out and do lots of voluntary work, and they really encourage us to do it.
Can you guess how many people turned up?
Oh goodness, I would say maybe 100.
Okay, yeah, well, that's good. That's
I think
good
there's
number.
maybe about 100, so that's amazing. Yeah, it was good.
And also you sold some paints.
Yes, we sold quite a few actually. I think we sold more than we thought we would.
Yeah.
And people have been so generous. We'd put on the paintings a minimum donation.
Yeah.
And one of them was £5 and somebody paid 150 for it. It's just amazing what people give.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really pleased that.
So should we get Millie?
Yes.
Millie, tell us just a brief history of
Yes.
how you came to work with Redearth Education.
Absolutely. So in 2019, when I was 18 years old, so while I was at secondary school, in my summer holidays, I went to visit Lynn and Ronnie in Uganda and volunteered with Redearth Education for 1 month. So I went out with a group of 20 volunteers. We were helping to train the teachers. We were working in local primary schools, painting them, making teaching resources, doing sports. And I was there for a month, absolutely loved it. Obviously had to come home because I had to do my A-levels. But that sort of spurred me on to keep volunteering. And even while I was at university a couple of years ago, I partnered with another charity based in Uganda. But obviously COVID hit, which meant I couldn't go in person, which was so sad. But then getting this job a year ago, which is kind of scary because I came just after you.
Yeah.
But I've only been here 1 year, but I was really keen to do something with volunteering. And Mott MacDonald have such a large charity sector that when I was speaking to employees about, right, what can I do? They said, get a charity, do something, and we can fund it. So I said, perfect, reached out to Lynn and Ronnie, and I said, I'm working at this new company, they're really keen to get some new partnerships, and they said, we'd love to get involved. It started off quite small, that we funded some time for Jenny doing some fundraising stuff, and Neve doing some website improvement stuff. But then we started getting the ball rolling a bit more, saying, right, we actually want to plan something bigger, and they were letting us know about an art auction event they had done previously. So we said, brilliant, let's try and do it better, which was our mission. So it was Jenny, Neve and I, sort of like the core three, that pulled together a bigger team of volunteers. I think we had 20 in the end. There are about 15 here tonight. And we said, look, guys, this is what we want to do. We've got 6 months to do it. We can apply to funding from the company and let's see what we can bring together. And luckily the company was so supportive that we had a bit of time funded. They paid for the venue, the marketing, the drinks, everything. So everything raised this evening goes straight to Redearth Education, which is amazing.
So I would really like to know, probably, because you guys are doing an amazing job. I want to know what is the attraction of helping Africans and stuff. What do you think that is? Because, you know, I know Africa, there are many problems, but also some of the problems can be solved by themselves. So don't you think that you are encouraging them not to help themselves? Do I?
Yeah.
I think the way that Lynn and Ronnie have worked Redearth Education and they've handed it over, I think that's what kind of appeals to us, that it's not...
And training people to pass on the lesson rather than going out to volunteer somewhere, teach for a month and that's it.
And disappear,
Yeah. And I also think Jenny and I both work in social infrastructure at Mott MacDonald, so that's health, education and social care. So naturally what we're doing and employed to do is helping those inequalities. And Mott MacDonald as a company also have a massive portfolio called international development, which they do health, education and social care, but in other countries abroad. So I guess it's doing that, obviously, but education in other countries.
But McDonald's, do they only support educational programs?
No.
A lot more. So as a company, it's an engineering consultancy. So it's everything from defence to energy to transport to health to education. So they're building schools, they're building hospitals, they're building planes, they're building bridges, they're doing everything. And they've also got a massive programme called Bridges to Prosperity where they go and visit a country. So last year it was Rwanda and they built a bridge that connected two communities. So they do a lot in countries abroad. So I think me volunteering with this charity, aligning with so many people who are also so passionate about it, because Jenny used to be a teacher and then it had all those parallels that this is something you're really passionate about, I've done this before. Neve is really passionate about communications and she loved what the charity was doing, so she had that tie on it. So it just fell together really nicely. And what we've also found while working at Mott MacDonald is a lot of people want to volunteer, but they don't have something to do. And even speaking to people who have been here tonight, it's a massive problem that all these charities want lots of help. Like you could see how grateful Ron and Lynn were to us helping them, but so many people want to volunteer. So all we had to do is say, who wants to volunteer? Have 20 people sign up like that, and we could put on an event like this. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you so much.